Gary Payton at the Seattle Supersonics.
Hey, Peter with the Seattle Mariners.
Jermaine Curse.
Cliff Averill.
This is Nate Burleson. You're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
All right, what's happening, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you on this Monday following that brutal loss to the Washington Redskins yesterday, 17-14. And this is really just an opportunity to, for those of you out there, Seahawk fans, Seahawk Nation, you want to call in and just, discuss how tough this loss was, just get things off your chest. I certainly want to get things off my chest. And, we got the good thing about this is we got a quick turnaround. We've got to get ready and head down to Arizona and play them on Thursday. So the nice thing about it is we don't have a lot of time to dwell on this. The team itself, for sure, has got to just get going and start getting ready for the next game, while we, in the meantime, have to stew for only a couple days before we get to move on to the next game. But man, that was probably one of the worst losses I've seen in a long time. I mean, every loss is bad, but it's bad when you know you should have won. It's bad when you know that the other team was in about as bad a shape as they could be when, injury-wise, they were coming in with less than a full tank of gas, if you know what I'm saying. And so clearly we had the upper hand just in terms of talent and ability because of the fact that they had so many guys out. And so, just all those things, we should have won that game. And then we can go beat by beat as far as what should have happened. And how many opportunities they missed out on. So many opportunities. The obvious one's the field goal, but so many things that the Seahawks could have done up until the final second, really, to have changed the end result of that game. But I see a lot of you guys on here. A lot of calls already starting to come in. I want to try to get as many as I can in the next hour or so. So, as you can see, I've got this new format. I'm excited about this. I hope you like it. This is a little, just trying to up my game a little bit. Hopefully the Seahawks can too. But as you can see, it's an opportunity. You're able to see the chat live right here, so your chat comments can actually be seen by everybody. It'll be on the video, so please keep it G-rated. I appreciate that. And instead, usually the chat goes away once the video is done. So here you can actually read what people have to say as it's broadcasting live. It's pretty cool. But let's not waste any time here. Let's go to the calls, and I just want to hear from you guys, your thoughts on, this game. Just see if we else feel the same thing. There are positives, and I'll get to some of those as we talk about things. But let's get right into things and get things off the chest. So let's go to our first caller from the 720, the 720. What's up, man? This is NorbCam. Who's this, and where are you calling from?
It's Gabe from Denver, Colorado.
Gabe from Denver, Colorado. What's on your mind? Did you call last week? No, new caller. Okay, what's up?
I'm kind of mad because, the kicker, he missed three field goals in a row.
Yes, he did.
And I was thinking in my head because when they threw the Hail Mary, maybe they could have done instead of the Hail Mary, they maybe could have done a short pass, but they could have had two blockers in front of them, maybe.
Yeah, kind of do a little lateral thing, or just throw it short and hope the guy can kind of run and run for it instead of going for the end zone. Yeah, there's really only two ways. Yeah, there's two ways to go about it. I mean, either way is, it's a low percentage chance, unless your name is Aaron Rodgers. For some reason, he can throw the Hail Mary better than anybody. But, Russell Wilson did get one. Call it the Fail Mary. Yeah. He did get one before. Almost threw it in the same exact spot, but we just couldn't quite come down with it. But it shouldn't have come down to that play. I mean, that's the reality. It should never have come down to a Hail Mary, And so, the field goals, definitely that's the obvious one that, should have been made. You make one and it's a tie ball game. You make two and we win. You make three, we're not even having a conversation about how close it's going to be. So, but, his definitely fault falls on him, but there's a lot of other places that, despite missing those field goals in the first half, a lot of opportunities that we left. So, but yeah, unfortunately, that's how it played out. But I appreciate you calling, man. Thanks for sharing your thoughts. Hopefully,
thank you. Bye.
All right, bye-bye. All right, let's get the next one here. Appreciate it, you guys. And I'm sorry I won't be able to respond probably to most of your live chats, but feel free to put them up here and people can respond as they see them coming across the screen. Let's go to the 313. What's up? This is NorbCam. Who's this?
Hey, what's up? This is Kareem, calling from Michigan.
All right, from Michigan. What's on your mind, man?
I was wondering, do you think it was smart for Seahawks to get rid of Stephen Hashka and sign Blair Walsh?
Well, up until yesterday, I thought it was looking pretty good. I mean, Hauschka was going to cost us, I don't know, $3+ million, and we got Blair Walsh for less than $1 million. And up to this point, he had only missed one field goal and did pretty good on extra points. So there wasn't any real obvious sign that this guy was missing field goals on a consistent basis. He just had a really bad day yesterday. So, my thought is I'm not of the camp of ready to just dump the guy. I'm feeling like I want to give the guy at least one more chance, one more game to redeem himself. And if he completely blows his kicks the next game, well, then he should be out of there. But, every player has a bad day. And unfortunately, his came at the worst possible time. But, sometimes a kicker has a bad day, but, maybe that's just the one. But if he has a pattern, if it's a pattern here, well, then it's something we're going to have to, do something about. That's my feel anyway. So I'm a little more forgiving than probably most people out there. All right. All right, let's go to the next caller. Let's go to the 570. What's up? Who's this? Who's this and where are you calling from? You're on with NorbCam.
Max from Pennsylvania.
Max, all the way from Pennsylvania. What's on your mind, Max?
What's on my mind is 2 weeks ago, we had a huge game with the offense, but a bad defense with Houston. But this week, we had an opposite play. Does this worry you?
Oh, it's definitely concerning because last week, I think people in general, and maybe myself included, got a little high on the fact that our offense scored so many points and felt maybe that all of a sudden we're fixed because of one game. But I said in my last video, is this a trap game going against the Redskins? And in some ways, it felt like it was because this is a team we definitely should have beaten on paper. But I think it just simply showed again that we have not solved all our offensive woes. And Russell Wilson, unfortunately, while he was amazing last week and basically was all of our offense, you can't expect him to do it every single game because much like any player, you put too much on one player, after a while they're going to figure you out. They're going to figure out ways, and I think they surprised the Seahawks a little bit with their pass coverage, dropping a lot of guys back, and Russell had a lot of trouble trying to get the ball to his receivers. And so we can't expect Russell to save the day and be all the offense every single time. We got to get other things going, namely the running game, which we did get some running game going, but it's got to be more balanced than what it is. Otherwise, and I said this last week because some people were saying, hey, we should just have Russell pass it all the time. Well, look what happened. He got 2 interceptions this time and probably could have had 3 or 4, maybe 5. So you can't live by that all the time because eventually it'll catch up to you. So we got to get the running game going. I think it was stepped in the right direction, and we just missed our opportunities. We had a record number of penalties, and you can't win a game when you have more penalty yardage than you do rushing yardage. I mean, that was terrible, and hopefully that's the last time we see that. So I don't think this is necessarily a pattern that we're going to repeat this kind of game, but we got to get some additional things fixed. And unfortunately, this loss just creates a very bad speed bump in our way to trying to get to the playoffs. And we're not down. We're down, but we're not out for sure. But it's definitely going to be tough because now we got to start relying on some of these other teams to stumble along the way for us to make our way to the playoffs. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it. All right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Go Hawks. All right, keeping this going. Actually, I'm surprised. I'm doing this a little earlier in the day than I normally would, but I'm surprised that some of you guys are available to call in. So let's go to. Let me see. This is. I I see the name Kumar on here. Is this the Kumar I think I know who's friends with Sam Dog? Let's put him on here. What's going on? This is NorbCam.
Hey, Norb, how's it going?
Is this who I think it is?
This is Anish from...
Anish, that's what I thought. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. How are you?
I wish I could say I'm doing great, but I've been a little bummed out since yesterday.
That was a tough loss yesterday, being in the quake. But you know what? Got to try to look at the positives, right? I mean, we're 5-3, could be a lot worse right now. We're only, tied for the last wild card spot. We got a quick turnaround on Thursday against Arizona. Just got to fix the mistakes. But the room, as maybe you would know better than anyone, the margin for error now is slim. If you want the first round bye, I mean, it's going to take probably 11-5 now to get that first round bye, the second seed probably. So, what do you think as far as the kicking game? It is what it is. We didn't make the kicks, but we didn't. We could say we lost the game on kicks, but maybe we should have scored touchdowns. We shouldn't have left at that point. But what are your thoughts on the game this Thursday in Arizona? I'm going to be there actually.
Oh, you're going down. Oh, nice. I know a lot of people who usually make that trip down to Arizona, so it should be rocking and rolling loud with the 12s as usual. Well, I guess talking about the Arizona game coming up, which, by the way, as you can see on my screen right here, that for those of you who are in town, you're welcome to come to my viewing party, which I'll be holding at Emerald Downs. It's going to be a blast, big screen, TV, great viewing, a lot of good food, and we're actually giving away jerseys, Hawks Falcons tickets, and an HD TV. So it's going to be amazing prizes just for showing up. So come join it with me. But as far as that game's concerned now, I think, the Cardinals look like they were, pretty much getting kicked to the wayside. They had a big win yesterday. Granted, it was against the winless 49ers, so it doesn't really mean a lot. But they stand through for, I think, a couple touchdowns, but they ran the ball like crazy. They gave Adrian Peterson the ball like 30-something carries, something that you can't even imagine the Seahawks getting close to something like that. But that seemed to work, and I think they're going to try to do that again. So our run defense is going to have to be right on. They're going to have to be really stout. I hope Sheldon Richardson can play in that game, because he was huge in the run last weekend, and we missed him, for sure in this game. So hopefully he can be there to help shore the defense up. But I mean, they scare me. Every game scares me. But the Cardinals are still, without Palmer, they're not as dangerous as they normally would be. And as long as we can stop the run, I feel like we'll be all right. But again, you want to have Earl Thomas back there, and I don't know his status yet. We'll find out in the next couple of days. But hopefully he comes back.
Sounds good. I'll see you there at the Falcons game, hopefully. Hope I run into you.
All right, sounds good, man. Thanks for calling in.
Yeah, too, buddy. Bye.
Bye. All right, that was Anish. Let's continue this thing going. Let's talk to someone from the let's go to the 240. Holding for a few minutes now. What's up? This is NorbCam. Who's this?
Hello?
Yes, you're on with NorbCam. What's on your mind? Where are you calling from?
I'm from Maryland, and even though I'm a Redskins fan, I have a question about the Seahawks.
Yeah, did you say what team are you a fan of?
Redskins, but I have a question about the Seahawks.
Okay, congratulations on the win, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Do you think they will make it to the playoffs? The Seahawks?
Well, I'll say this much. We're 5-3. We're halfway through the season, so right now nobody's guaranteed anything. I mean, even the team that's number one right now, they could have a bad injury, they could hit a bunch of losses in a row, and it could change everything. So, I think we still have a chance. We can still control our destiny with the winning our division, which would put us in the playoffs. But we want more than just making the playoffs. We want home field advantage, because every time we get home field advantage, we make it to the Super Bowl. So that's kind of what the goal is, big picture. But I think they'll make it. It's just a lot harder now, having lost that game to you guys yesterday.
Yeah.
But hats off to you guys. I mean, you guys were decimated with injuries, and Kirk Cousins, getting hit all day long, found a way to make a couple of really key passes down the stretch to put you guys in a position where you had to score a touchdown, and he did it with two big throws with pressure in his face. So Kirk Cousins, I give credit to him. He really stepped up and did a great job. So, yeah, you guys earned that one in a situation that looked unlikely that you would.
One more thing. I thought y'all were going to win when y'all threw the Hail Mary.
You thought we were going to get it, huh? We had a chance. We had Jimmy Graham and Tanner McAvoy, two of our tallest receivers out there. And in some ways, I think they might have kind of fought for the ball and maybe didn't help each other out because they both went up at the same time and the ball fell down, unfortunately. But yeah, we had a chance, but we had a lot more chances if we had done things differently early on. We wouldn't have had to do that play. So unfortunately, it didn't drop our way, but we're going to have to recover and hopefully win the majority of these games the rest of the way.
Yeah.
But good luck to you guys, man.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for calling. I appreciate it.
Okay, bye.
All right. Let's keep the party going. Let's hear from somebody from the 419 waiting patiently. Yo, what's up? This is NorbCam. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hello, this is Logan from Toledo, Ohio.
Okay. Logan, what's up?
So, right now, each year we always drop a fluke game or two, and plus we lost Earl Thomas this week, and we saw what that did last year. And our schedule's kind of easy. The rest of it's not easy, but not terrible the rest of the way.
You're talking about the Seahawks? You're saying the Seahawks schedule? You're saying the Seahawks schedule's easy?
Well, good thing, we have Eagles at home. I think Jaguars and Cowboys should be good. Should be hard. But outside of that, I think we should win the rest of our home games and most of the away. And Rams still have to play at Vikings, Saints, at Cardinals, Eagles, at Seahawks, and at Titans. And I'm just wondering how worried you are about not only the division, but just where we rank in the NFL.
Well, no question that yesterday's game definitely put a I like to say a speed bump on our way to the playoffs. It doesn't knock us out by any stretch of the word, but it certainly makes it a little tougher and makes us require other teams to, like you said, the Rams to fall to some of these other teams. So I'm worried in that regard because I feel like this has been almost like a playoff race from the beginning because the Rams were off to such a hot start, the Philadelphia Eagles off to such a hot start. So as long as everybody else is pushing the lead, we've got to keep up. And if they keep extending their lead on us and we can't keep up, that's obviously not a good sign. I do still feel good that the Seahawks have a good chance. They can still get the division. Like you said, the Rams have a pretty tough schedule. And we already got one game on them and we play them at home. But I don't think the schedule is easy. I think November is one where we should get some wins. We should have got that one yesterday and we should have continued to get some more in this month. But December is going to be tough. We got Philadelphia coming here, arguably right now the best team in the NFL, and we got to play the Falcons, who they're kind of down right now, but they're still dangerous. Luckily, we got them at home, and then we play the Cowboys, we play the Jaguars, and the Jaguars, are not the Jaguars of the past. They got a tough defense, and they're fighting for their place in the division as well. So December is going to be tough, but that's also when Seattle usually gets their groove going. So I'm going to be optimistic here. I felt like a couple things were improved in our benefit was that the run game. I wanted 100 yards of rushing yesterday. We got that. Unfortunately, the 130-something or so yards and penalties pretty much negated everything we gained out of that. But we did get some rushing yardage that was good to see. And just seeing Dwight Freeney making, I think, 2 sacks yesterday was pretty awesome. So, that was more than I think I would have banked on at this point. So there's positive things happening there. And Russ just had a bad game, and our kicker had a bad game. That's pretty much, and our defense chose the worst time to give up 2 big plays. I mean, all those things kind of worked as a really bad recipe for the Redskins to have a chance to win that game, which is what happened. But I think we still have a chance, and I think we can still pull this thing off. But they're going to have to start winning again and win the games they definitely have to, which is like this coming Thursday. So we're still in it for sure. Not giving up. Just frustrated, but not giving up.
Earl Thomas was there yesterday. I don't think they would have got both of those deep passes at the end.
Possibly. I don't know about the first one. The first one was put in a pretty good spot, and he was going to the corner. That's not a spot that Earl Thomas would have been defending. Maybe he would have been able to help Shaq on the sideline there. But, Earl Thomas is usually, he's kind of like the deep guy. But he does sometimes come out of nowhere to break up passes on the sideline. So who knows if Earl Thomas had a beat on that ball and got to jump on it, maybe he could have been there. But it was a perfectly thrown ball. I mean, the receiver had to dive, extend, and make a perfect catch. So, sometimes there's no defending a perfect ball. But he did it. So, again, kudos to those guys for making it happen. But anyway, thanks for calling, man.
I saw that last week you had us going 14-2. Clearly, that can't happen.
I had them going 14-2 was my prediction starting the beginning of the season, and I was sticking to it until they lost 3 games. So now, obviously, that has to go out the door. So,
where do you think they'll go now?
Well, I mean, if I want to be realistic about it, I had them losing at the Cowboys, and this game against the Eagles is going to be a lot tougher than I thought. So I could see them dropping those 2 games, which would make us 11-5. I think if we get 11-5, we could still win the division. And then depending what the Eagles do, it's going to be close. But hopefully the Eagles have some major setbacks. They're just so far ahead with only 1 loss right now. So we need those guys to stumble, starting when they play us. So we'll see what happens. There you go. Thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it.
No problem.
All right. Have a good one. Go Hawks. All righty. Let's go with the 406. Been waiting a long time. 406 here. What's up?
Hi, Norb.
Hey, what's up? Who's this and where are you calling from?
This is John calling from Wyoming.
John from Wyoming. All right, man. What's up?
So I have one question, non-football related, and then one football related.
All right.
So first I'll do the non-football related. Are you wearing green?
Am I wearing green? I have a shirt, my Super Bowl 48 shirt that's got green on it. So yes, I have some green.
Because you realize today is Green Monday, right?
I did not know it was Green Monday. That's news to me. But okay.
I'm trying to get that to be a trend. So
You're trying to start a Green Monday trend. Is that what you're saying?
yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
I already have Cassidy Quinn on board, so.
Really? Okay. Well, Cassidy's cool. I'll have to talk to her about that. Maybe we can work in conjunction to promote Green Monday. So I see what you're going for. Blue Friday, Green Monday. I like the idea. Cool. All right. What's your other question? Football related.
The football one is was the ball really slippery? Because it seemed like they kept dropping the pick that they had.
Well, I mean, it was a wet, cold day, which never makes holding on to the ball easy, I suppose. But everybody was playing with the same ball, so and people were catching them too. It was just a weird game yesterday. Just a lot of things just did not go our way. A lot of dropped interceptions, or that could have been. Kicker missing. Blair Walsh, up to this point, had never missed more than 2 field goals in a game. So I think it happened once. And he has 3 in one game. So
my mom made the joke that maybe he was remembering that the game the last time that snowed when he missed the field goal at the end.
Oh, you're talking about when he was with the Vikings and he missed the field goal to the left in the wild card game of 2015? Yeah. No, I know that was my buddy who I was sitting next to at the game. I think he jinxed the game because he brought that up right before his first kick, and sure enough, he missed it wide left. So I think it's Andrew's fault. My buddy Andrew, he's the reason we lost that game, really. But yeah, I don't know. I think we give him one more chance and see what he can do on this game on Thursday. And if he blows that game, well, then that might be that. But every kicker has a bad day.
The video you made, I like for the Cardinals game. Then we go down to Arizona, where he missed the kick by Hauschka.
Oh, yeah.
That was funny.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. Unfortunately, I did not think... That video, I was talking about the miss by Hauschka. Now I should have made it, the miss by Walsh, because he did just as badly at the same point in the year. So, anyway. All right, well, thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Go Hawks. All righty. Let's see. We've got someone from the 910. What's up? Who's this? And where are you calling from? Yeah, what's going on?
from Raleigh, North Carolina. My name is Josh.
All right, Josh, what you got on your mind?
Well, from the game yesterday, I just don't know how the Seahawks will perform throughout the season. Because, to be honest, I love Seattle to death, but their consistency is really lacking, and you can see that from last year. But the thing is, in the playoffs, I understand that, of course, everybody wants to get in the playoffs, and some people may want to may hope for a wild card game. But where do you think Seattle needs to fall in on the seed? Because to me personally, I feel like we need like a number 1 or 2 seed, 2 at the least. Because Seattle is so dominant at home. And last year, I thought they could have beat Atlanta, but it was at Atlanta. And I thought if we had it at home, we could have probably beat them. But you never know. I just want to know what you think and where you think we should fall in a seed in the playoffs.
Well, we've been in the playoffs for the last 5 seasons, and clearly the 2 times we had home field advantage, where did we end up going? We ended up in the Super Bowl. So I think it goes without saying that, of course, we want to have that home field advantage because it's one of the best in the NFL. And that's why I feel like just settling for a playoff spot isn't enough. Yeah, I'll be happy to make it in the playoffs. You never take that for granted, but we need that number 1 seed because we are unstoppable practically at home when it comes to the playoffs, and we've struggled on the road. And so, yeah, we want that number 1, and that's why I feel like we've got to keep pace with the Eagles and hope those guys stumble a little bit because right now they got one loss to our 3. We got some catching up to do, and of course we'll go head-to-head, which gives us a chance to, if we win that game, that would knock them down a peg, but that would still put them, if they went undefeated, we both went undefeated the rest of the way, we wouldn't catch them. So we need them to lose a game or 2 here, and we've got to stay on pace, otherwise Philadelphia will have the home field advantage. But that's looking way ahead. Obviously, right now we've got 8 games to go, and we're only halfway through the season, so we've got to worry about the game in front of us. And in November, most of these games are against teams with losing records or 500. So we need to take care of business in November so that December, everything kind of, gives ourselves a shot to be in the right position. So, that's what it comes down to. We got to be at home. Otherwise, we just don't do as well on the road. And so, but they got to fix their own house right now. Because so far these losses to me have been self-inflicted, their own problems that have prevented them from winning these games. And so, you got to stop with the stupid penalties. You got to just, dropping snaps, things like that just get off to a bad start. We've got to clean that up so we can, execute. That's number 1.
Absolutely. That's what I think. So I believe, too, we definitely need a home field advantage throughout the playoffs. Yes, sir.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir. Go Hawks.
All right. Go Hawks. Hey, I want a quick shout out to the chat room. Mike Acierno putting out his poor Hawks out there, and Oak Bros Gaming asks, do you think Seattle should get a new running back? And do you think this game was a fluke, or are we just not a good team right now? Well, we have our problems, and I don't know if the running back itself is the issue. I think a running game is kind of a thing that's got to slowly develop, and I like the fact that Rawls is in there. He's my guy I've been pulling for outside of Chris Carson when he was getting things going. I like what he did. He had a pretty solid game rushing and receiving, and I think if we stay with him, we could probably, get that running game like we did when the first year that Rawls came out. He just needs time. You got to develop that chemistry, that ability to read the defenses and gel with the line. So hopefully maybe this is the start, but don't know the status of Eddie Lacy with that groin injury he suffered in the game. But we'll see. All right, let's go back to the calls. Let's go to the 253. Not too far from my neck of the woods. Who's this and where are you calling from?
How's it going, Norb? This is Cody from Bonnie Lake, Washington.
Hey, Cody from Bonnie Lake. What's on your mind, man?
Well, I was just wondering, because Pete Carroll was saying how he wanted to give Eddie Lacy this big workload. First drive, I think he had 6 carries, but it was only 19 yards, and then he had the groin injury. How does that it just seemed like that just kind of affected the entire game, and we decided to go straight into the pass game just like last week against Houston. And it was just, it's just frustrating just to see how this offense is working and how, we're just relying on Russell right now. But Rawls, when he was in, he had some pretty big runs. Yeah,
he did. I thought he did pretty good. And, again, not to put too much blame on one spot, but we make those first half field goals, get 9 points out of that. Then we're in a situation where we're up a couple scores. We can probably play some ball control instead of feeling like we're, right in the fighting for our lives. We can try to grind things out and not have so much pressure on Russell to make something happen. So again, one problem begets another, and when one thing goes wrong, something else tends to follow in his footsteps, and mainly the penalties. We had so many yards. We almost had double the yardage as the Redskins did, and that was with the penalties. So if we'd actually had half those penalties, we had like 3 or 4 explosive plays that were called back because of the penalties. So big plays downfield, and if we
big Doug Baldwin catch, that was
amazing. And even before it was thrown, I saw the flags go down. I wasn't even excited about it because I knew it was coming back, but it was frustrating because you're going, that's a 50-yard play or whatever down there, and it's going to come back. So we could have had 500 something yards in there if we didn't have half those penalties, and probably would have changed the game entirely. So they got to really clean that part up big time. So it's.
I thought Washington defensively, they did an amazing job of just keeping Russell in the pocket, and Zach Brown with him. They used him as a spy, and then Norman and Ranger did a really good job of just coverage wise. When Russell was scrambling, he really just had to hold on to the ball because he couldn't. There was really no one open.
Yeah, they did, and Russell easily could have had like 5 interceptions. I counted like 5 balls that he could have had picked off, and he got lucky that they're just kind of knocked in the
second one.
Yeah, bounced off a defender's hands, didn't catch it, or just fell off to the side. So, yeah, Russell just didn't have a really good game, or you could say the Redskins played a really good, smart defensive scheme on him.
That's not the Redskins.
But I'm sure they watched the tape from last week and said we're not going to let him do what they did to the Texans to do to us, and it worked. But that
Washington's defensive coordinator, their defensive coordinator said their biggest goal was to just stop Russell, because usually stop the run game, but for us it's just stop Russell and go after that, because our run game is just non-existent.
Which is why we got to get that going, because if you balance it out, you can't just throw all your eggs in one basket. And until we can,
really opens up.
Yeah. So hopefully they can start getting in the right direction. But they did have some baby steps towards that with Rawls. Maybe they stick with him for the time being and see if he can get it going. That would be my hope.
Should get the start on Thursday. So.
Yeah. So hopefully Thursday is a game that we can get in the right direction. But we need to get off to a quick start. Good execution. No more stupid penalties. That's just killing us.
Yeah, that's a big thing.
Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for calling, man. Appreciate it. Go Hawks.
Thank you.
All right. Let's keep this thing going. Let's go to the 646. Been hanging on for a while. Hey, what's up? Who's this and where are you calling from?
NorbCam, it's Gangrene David. How are you?
I keep forgetting what this is. I'm like, that number looks familiar. What's up, David?
Nothing much. Just found out that we're going up against an old friend this Sunday. But meanwhile, a little bit of a bad break for you guys.
Oh, yeah, I wouldn't call it a bad break. A bad break is like you get one bad call or one bad pass or something. This was like multiple bad, they're not even bad breaks, it's just bad football. But it was self-inflicted, and we really should have won that game yesterday. But even with all our mistakes, we still had a chance to win it in the last few seconds, and just our team didn't execute. And so, Washington did, and we did not. So we kind of deserve that one. But hopefully that they can get that one behind them and learn from it, because we can't afford to have another letdown like that.
I mean, I 100% know how it feels to have these kind of losses. The Jets suffered 3 weeks of those in a row.
Yeah.
I kind of know how it is, but at the end of the day, you guys are just an outstanding team. You guys may be 5-3, but I still consider you guys very elite. You guys have a head coach. You guys have great chemistry. You guys have a lot of talent. And you guys have a great locker room atmosphere. So I want to get too worked up over one game, because honestly there's lots of scenarios for you guys to really get into the playoffs, especially with your division, because right now the only team I believe you guys are competing with for your division is the Rams. Mm-hmm. And a slight part of me kind of thinks that the winner of the division could come down to when you guys play the Rams at the Clink. So I wouldn't get too worked up over this game. Yes, it sucks that you guys lost, but at the end of the day, you guys still going to play hard, and your talent's still going to be put into good use.
Yeah, well, thanks. I agree with you there. I mean, we do have a good. Everything throughout the team is solid, which is what is so frustrating. It's one thing if you're just a bad team and you lose, you expect it because you're just a bad team. But we have so much potential with the talent that we have, and it's just frustrating when they don't put it together. But like I said in my last time I did one of these Ask Norb videos, I was looking at our wins and losses, and 3 games before this, we could have easily lost because it came down to like one play or the last 30 seconds or last minute or two. So we could easily right now be, 2-4, or flip it 3-5. And so I consider ourselves fortunate that we're 5-3 in all reality, because we've had some luck go our way. I think last night was an example of how luck did not go our way because sometimes you do a lot of dumb things and then you go, man, whew, I was lucky that I didn't crash into that thing because that was some stupid stuff I was doing. Well, it's like after a while, if you do a bunch of really dumb stuff, eventually you're gonna, like if you're texting on the phone in your car, if you keep doing it over and over, and at some point you swerve, one point you miss the car, one point you almost go through a red light, and you keep going, ooh, that was close, I probably shouldn't be texting. And you finally do it one more time and you get into a car accident. It's kind of like that last night. It was like finally your mistakes, your bad habits, our bad habits, I say our, like I'm part of the team, but the Seahawks' bad habits finally caught up to them in a game where the luck ran out. So
I mean, at the end of the day, it's not like you guys played terribly. I mean, I just watched the highlights. You guys put a lot of pressure on Kirk Cousins. You were kind of fortunate enough to contain the run game a little bit, but the Blair Walsh missed field goals are terrible. I mean, yeah. I was a little bit skeptical originally when you guys signed him or when he came to the Seahawks, but that's why I'm saying like you guys still have a lot of benefits when it comes to you guys playing the game and making the fans, the 12th man, enjoy watching the Seahawks. I mean, did you guys make mistakes? Yes, but it wasn't all flat out terrible. You guys just sort of got away with some. You guys sort of just had some miscues and just move on to the next one.
Yep, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. But yeah, and
but I'm a little skeptical going into this game.
Yeah.
Against the Buccaneers.
Well, I don't know. You guys have played pretty well. You made some. You had a great game last Thursday, and so I think you guys got a good opportunity here to keep riding that momentum. So hopefully, we both have good games this coming week.
Especially since we're versing our old little friend named Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Right.
And the fact that their best receiver, Mike Evans, is not playing now.
That's a huge one.
I mean, on paper, we should win this game, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know.
Can't.
On the road, I think they've been 1-3 on the road, and one win was a 3-point win against the Cleveland Browns. So there's lots of reasons why I think we could potentially lose, and reasons why we could potentially win. So it's really like a balance kind of thing right now.
Yeah, well, if you were to look at this Redskins team before the game, you'd think they have no chance because they were so many guys injured and all that stuff, and yet look what they did to us. So, surprises can happen, but that's why you got to focus and just play your game and not let yourself get in your own way. So, all right, man. Well, good luck this Sunday, and hopefully we'll both be coming out with wins under our belt. All right, that's
a big win this Sunday. A win would be big going into the bye week at 5-5 with this young team.
It would. I'm rooting for you. So that's Gangrene David, big Jets fan, always checking in every week. So good luck. Check out his stuff. Reaction videos, does a lot of similar stuff that I do. And we'll keep going, man. Our seasons are far from over.
Yep, you got it.
All right, man.
And beat up the Cardinals.
Yeah, we're going to try. All right, take care, man. Talk to you soon. All right, let's go to the 253 on my neck of the woods. What's up? Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Devin. How are you, my man?
I'm doing good. You say your name is Devin?
Yeah.
All right, Devin. Hey, what's on your mind, man?
Oh my God! Well, I was at the Hawks game yesterday, and I tried looking for you. I texted you. And I was in the touchdown study, and I couldn't see you. And then I walked up the hill or whatever. No, we were at the end of the game, and I walked past here, and I couldn't see you. But,
yeah, I'm sorry I missed you, man. Sorry I missed you. Like I said, I got your message, but my phone, for some reason, getting those Facebook messages, sometimes they get buried and I don't see them until later. Like, oh, there was this message hiding in here and I didn't see it. So sorry that I missed you. But yeah, that was a tough game, wasn't it?
God, we waited in the third quarter and there goes the bacon. And then we were started coming back and I thought I had hope that we could just save them for the victim. I was keeping up with the Rams and stuff during the game, but I was walking to the TMS and the Rams were just slaughtering the guys and they were just kicking ass like we're just really not good. And I was wondering, how do you think people do, and who is your favorite Hawks player, current and old?
Oh, wow, current and old. Well, back in the day, I was a big Kenny Easley fan who went in the Hall of Fame this past summer. And Cam Chancellor is still a favorite of mine now. He's, I feel like he's starting to get a little bit older now, but he's still making plays. He's just, eventually time starts to catch up to you. But Cam Chancellor to me has always been one of my favorites. Such a hitter, and I think he actually got a couple of big hits yesterday. So he's still laying the wood down. Hit Vernon Davis at one point in the game, but he's still doing his thing. But so those are two safeties that have always been powerful hitters, and you got to admire the guys who hit, because you don't see a lot of big hitting as much these days because they legislate the heck out of it. But yeah, we're halfway through this season, so there's plenty of football to be had. And I got to go back to 2014 when there was a point where we went 6-4. We lost a bad game to the Chiefs, and everybody wrote us out. Fans were jumping off the wagon. Seattle's done. They're not going to make the playoffs. Sounding a lot like people last night or yesterday when people were commenting on my live feed and reading comments later saying, Seahawks are done, write them off, forget it, suck, everything. And then what did the Seahawks do after that 6-4 point? They came together and they went undefeated and went to the Super Bowl in Super Bowl 49. So, now not to say that that's the same team, obviously with different players, different thing, but we still have a lot of those same guys on the team. So I think they haven't played their best ball, and they're still making a lot of mistakes, which you would think they won't be doing in the second half of the season. So hopefully they're just getting all their bad stuff out of the way and the good stuff is coming, because I think when they execute well, they're a good football team, and it's just they've been their own worst enemy is the problem.
Yeah. So who's your favorite from the 05 team? From
05? Well, let's see. Right now I'd probably say well, there's a few. I mean, Sean Alexander was really good back then. Matt Hasselbeck. Maybe Walter Jones, man. We had Walter Jones, and it's a shame he never won a Super Bowl ring. He's one guy who should have deserved it, but that guy was awesome. I mean, and in a lot of ways, hopefully we'll see Dwayne Brown become like that kind of player. But, I remember Walter Jones, I think he had, in his whole career, he had less than 10 holding penalties in his whole 10-plus year career, something like that. I mean, the guy was so amazing, and you take for granted having a guy like that. And then when you lose somebody like that, and then you suddenly have this line that's just like always a shifting, changing thing, that you learn to appreciate how good a good, really Hall of Fame, lineman is. So I'm hoping Dwayne Brown can feel sort of like the second coming of a Walter Jones type of player. He's only had one game with us, but from what I saw, he did pretty well. He had one false start. I forgive him for that because he's new with our team, but hopefully things will continue to evolve in the running game and give Russell pass protection, but we got to balance things out and just stop making dumb penalties. Yeah. So. Yeah, I know.
Yeah. Do you think, God forbid, do you think if they made an O-line coach, do you think it would be Walter Jones, or who do you think it would be?
If we had a new line coach, is that what you said?
Yeah, an O-line coach.
Oh, you mean like if Tom Cable were to suddenly not be there anymore, who would our next coach be? I don't know if Walter Jones is even in the conversation. Some players are great, but they don't necessarily make great coaches. I'm not sure if that's an interest of his or if he's had any experience in that regard, just because a good player doesn't translate into a good coach and vice versa. But, I don't know if there's any changes in there happening, but it'd certainly be inspiring to have a guy like that in the locker room just to sort of teach the youngins, tricks of the trade and things like that, because he was a one of a kind for sure. So, well, thanks for calling, man.
All right, buddy. Well, I'll check in with you later sometime during the week or whatever.
All right, sounds good. All right, go Hawks. All right, let's keep it on going. We've been holding on a long time here from the 952. Who's this and where are you calling from?
Hey, Norb, it's Brandon from Minnesota.
Brandon from Minnesota, what's going on?
I just wanted to tell my reasons why I think we lost yesterday's game.
Yeah.
But I think we lost because Blair Walsh couldn't make field goals, Earl Thomas is out, and Sheldon Richardson is out. But on top of that, we didn't have the offense going in the first half, so I just wanted your perspective of the playoff seeds. Do you think we could get like a top 3 seed, like a 1, 2, or 3?
Well, can we? I think the simple answer is yes. We have the potential to do it. Will we? Well, it all depends on what they do. If they play another game like they did yesterday, we'll be lucky to get a wild card. I still think they can. Like I said earlier, we've been not playing up to our potential, and we've been our own worst enemy. And that's the worst kind of loss, because it's one thing if you feel like another team just was better than you and you're just getting pushed around and you have no shot. But when you practically have double the yardage of your opponent and you lose that game because you have more penalty yards than rushing, you have scoring opportunities that amount to 0, and you lose the game at the end despite all that and still have a chance to tie or win the game, and then you blow that. It's just like a perfect storm of just the worst possible scenario of things gone wrong. I don't think Seattle will have another game that bad. That's about as bad as it can get. So I'd like to think that it's better to have this type of game now than later when you're really in the playoff crunch, because in December you want to be playing your best football and not start off hot and falter at the end. So Seattle's typically like, their record is usually like their running game, or their offense is always slow to start and it finishes strong. We'll see if they can.
Yeah, that's true, but I think that because there's the good teams in the NFC, but I think sooner or later they're going to fall, because if you look at the Saints and the Panthers, they're not as good as their record, I don't think.
Well,
the Saints defense is doing really good, but their offense, I don't think it can hold up.
You don't think so? I don't know. Saints started off bad, and now they've been on a roll. So they're doing pretty well. Panthers, same thing. Kind of started off slow.
For a fact, the Panthers aren't going to get a good seed.
Yeah, well, I don't like the Panthers anyway, so I hope nothing good happens their way. I just can't stand Cam Newton personally. But the Eagles seem to be the real deal and seem to be getting better. The Cowboys are trending better.
The Cowboys, Zeke is probably going to get suspended again, so...
Well, I'm hoping when he does get suspended, it'll happen when we're playing him. So, hopefully when that whole circus act is done, we'll get him at the right time, and maybe that'll help us out. But, the Rams are pretty solid, too. We got to play them again here, but,
Yeah, and I was going to say something about the Rams, because if they start losing and we can start winning and we face them for the division at the Clink, that's going to be a good game, because I think that will determine the second seed, because I know the Eagles are probably going to get the 1 seed.
It looks like it, barring any kind of major setback or injury or something to the Eagles. Right now, they seem to be the clear front runner, but you never know.
The only 2 threats in the NFC, I think, are the Rams and the Eagles.
Right now, they're the ones. Cowboys, can't underestimate the Cowboys, but, those
That's
three.
True, but Zeke, man, he keeps getting suspended and not, but
yeah,
they got to make a decision sooner.
Yeah, I know. I don't quite understand all that stuff, but, we can only control what we control, and we just got to win these games that we know we can win. And maybe if we can put a good, perfect game together, we'll beat the Eagles and the Falcons at home. I think those will be 2 tough games as well. So Yeah, no, it's not an easy schedule for us. I think the Eagles, looking at theirs, they have a pretty reasonably easy schedule. The rest of the way, the Rams have a tough one. The Rams got a tough schedule, so there's a lot better chance we can catch them.
The Vikings,
They play the Eagles too, I think.
They play the Falcons sometime soon too.
Yeah.
But
So yeah, no, it's really anybody's conference and division right now, because other than the teams who are really out of it, because we're halfway through, and if you're 6-3, 5-3, you're hanging in there, and it's just a matter of how everybody at the top continues to do. So we got to hope that the Rams and the Eagles take a trip up here a little bit, and that we can kind of sneak in.
yeah, thanks for answering my question, though.
What was that?
Thanks for answering my question.
Oh yeah, no problem. Thanks for calling. I appreciate it, man. Go Hawks.
Yeah. Thanks. Bye. Go Hawks.
All right, I got about 7 minutes left. 3 o'clock, I got to wrap up, so we'll try to get a few more here. Let's get to the 803. What's up? This is NorbCam. Who's this and where are you calling from? Hello, anybody there? Nope, not there. Maybe you are there.
Hello?
Who's this? Yeah, who's this?
Oh, hey, Norb. My name is Mark, and I'm from South Carolina. And I was just calling to ask a few questions, but I mainly think we lost that game mainly because of Russell Wilson and Blair Walsh. What about you?
You said mostly the blame falls on Russell Wilson. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, no, mostly on Russell Wilson and Blair Walsh. Mainly Blair Walsh because for field goals. Russell Wilson was just off rhythm the whole day.
He was. He did not have his best game. And as I said earlier, coming off of that game last week, Russell was all the offense. And, he almost had to be all the offense again. And you can't put that much pressure on a guy. And I think the Redskins did a good job of scheming to prevent him from being the guy. And it paid off. So, we got a little bit of running game. But really, besides the obvious of the field goal kicker, and then, Russell's performance, the penalties. The penalties were really huge.
Yeah.
I mean, they negated so many big plays that would have then added to Russell's, day and made him not look quite so bad. But when you negate too many big plays with penalties like that, it's kind of hard to, when you're shooting yourself in the foot. So.
Yeah, but I remember last year when we were getting ready to play the Patriots, like 90% of people thought Patriots were going to win. They thought it was just going to be another Super Bowl 49, and we end up losing on a stupid mistake. But we came in there, and on the last play, it was 4th and goal, and we held them there, and we ended up winning 31-24. And then people thought we were the real deal then. I feel like this year, if we can beat the Cowboys, then I feel like we could beat the Eagles also. Yeah,
I think we could beat any team. There's no team that's not beatable. But I think we have to play our best football. And I have not seen a complete game from the Seahawks yet where you go, wow, they played solid all the way through. We played like a good second half. We played like a good fourth quarter. But we have not played a game where I can even say like the first half was even complete. I think mostly second half has been good for us. But we have yet to have a lead in the first half of the season. Of a game in this season. I believe that still stands true. So until that changes, we're clearly not putting together 4 quarters, and we got to start doing that in part 2 of this 2017 campaign. Hopefully it starts on Thursday. So, all right, well, thanks for your call, man. Appreciate it.
Yeah, all right.
All right, go Hawks. All right, we got a few minutes left here. Let's go to 320, standing by. What's up? This is NorbCam.
Hi.
Yeah.
This is Clive from Minnesota.
Clive from Minnesota.
I'm asking a couple questions here.
Yeah, shoot.
What do you think are some abilities and just good things on the Seahawks team that advantages that they have that other teams don't?
Well, I think you're trying to think, what are the positive things? After coming off a loss like this, when we feel like the sky is falling and our team is horrible, we're not a horrible team. I think the positives that can be gotten out of there, clearly Russell Wilson had a bad day, but he's proven more times than not that will win in most situations. That was only, I think, his 7th loss at home out of, 20-something or 30, whatever, wins. So, he had a bad day, and everybody's going to have a bad day once in a while. But Russell's still good. He's healthy. He can still run. He's still our leading rusher. So he's still making, putting the team on his back. We just have to balance things out and not have as many penalties. I think if everybody executes, it's the old expression, do your job and focus. If everybody can do that, if Blair Walsh does his job, if our linemen don't hold and get unnecessary penalties, don't false start, suddenly you have this game where I think we win this thing going away by 2 or 3 scores. But when you don't, you're just pulling yourself back into the quicksand. And so we have plenty of talent from the receiver position. Our line is getting better. We had plenty of great plays on defense. We just fell apart at the worst possible time. So our defense was awesome up until 2 minutes left to go in the game. So, it's just bad. A little bit of bad luck and a little bit of bad timing to have bad things happen. So, again, we have the ability. We just have to do it, and put it together for 4 quarters. So, we have a good team. It just hasn't quite come together in a complete game yet. But I feel like it will. Good things always come in late November and December. So we're not out of it for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with you on that. One last question.
Yeah.
So, talking about Marshawn Lynch, do you think he fits the Oakland Raiders offense better than he fits the Seahawks offense?
That's a good question. I think he played pretty well last night, had a nice touchdown run. I mean, he's still a good back. I mean, he was great with us. Yep. And, what he did is he made our offensive line, he masks a lot of our deficiencies on our offensive line. So when we had guys hitting him in the backfield 2 or 3 yards, sometimes he'd find a way to still get like 4 yards out of it and make it a 1 or 2 yard gain, but it should have been a loss of 3 or 4, So, and then of course he had amazing breakout runs. So he was just a guy who made our team better because he was such an outstanding talent, even though we didn't really have, the best lines in the world. So, I haven't watched a lot of Raiders games, so it's hard to tell exactly. And he was suspended for that one game, but I think he seems to be on track right now, and the Raiders seem to be kind of bouncing back after a little bit of stretch of bad games there. So it'll be fun to see. I'm still rooting for him. I mean, I was hoping for a Seahawks-Raiders Super Bowl. That might be a far-fetched dream at this point, but I'm still rooting for him. I still like beast mode. I still want to see good things happen to those guys. Better than watching some of these other teams like the Patriots. I never root for them, although I do want a rematch with them. So it's kind of a weird sort of double-edged sword. But yeah, that's it. So, well, thanks for calling, man. I appreciate it.
All right, yeah, thanks. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Go Hawks. All right, I do have to wrap this up. I'm sorry I didn't get to all your calls today, but I got to go. I got to pick up my girl from school. So sorry guys, I'm gonna have to cut this off now, but we'll do this again. We'll talk maybe a little bit more Cardinals leading up to the game on Thursday. But for those of you who are local, I want to invite you again. All ages are invited to come to the Seahawks viewing party. I've got that information posted here at Emerald Downs Casino, starting at 4:30, an hour before kickoff. And like I said, the highlight of that is that they're giving away jerseys, Seahawks Falcons tickets, and a big screen 4K HD TV. You can win that if you come to the game. So come join me there. It's going to be a lot of fun. And for everybody else, please remember to subscribe right here. Hit that button, jump on there, and share, comment, like this video. And we'll do this again. This is a lot of fun to hear from you guys and talk Seahawks and what we need to do to get better. So, sorry guys, I got to go. But it's been a blast. We'll talk again soon. We get this one. Go Hawks.